Pop in, say hi. Da 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 da. What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes. Get those notifications out. Let people know I have gone live. If you've never popped into one of my lives before, I am Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And as you can see from behind me, I am, well, I am packed. I think I'm pretty officially packed and ready to go. This is the way I like it. I'm heading out on a trip in less than 2 weeks. And in the past couple of months, I have been getting ready consistently every single day. It is to keep me on track. Maybe it's in my limiting beliefs a little bit that something is going to get thrown into that engine and blow it all apart. But I think for the most part, right, I've done what I have possibly could have gotten done. I have completed my tasks. The rest of it, like I said, it's a waiting game. It's out of my hands. And, if something does happen, I'll ride those waves when it's time to ride those waves. I am a silly girl, you guys. Oh my goodness. I am so impressed with my lighting today. And when I say I'm a silly girl, all it took was this. That's all it took. I have this strip lighting around my picture window here, and is that not just the perfect lighting for my podcast, for my live show? I just like sometimes I could just shake my head. But these are the experiences that we have that make us better. You can guarantee I'm not going to have a lighting issue. Here I was thinking, oh my goodness, I have to buy a ring light. Why can't I use this light that's sitting in front of me? Maybe I just need a different light bulb. Adjusting things, moving things around a little bit. And it's all it took. It's all it took was pulling that remote control out of my drawer, right? Very grateful for that. I tell ya, right? Save me a few dollars when I seem to be dishing it out a little bit here and there. I have no choice in some things. I lost the fob for my apartment building, so that had to be replaced. There are still things on my grocery to buy list that I want to make sure that, right, every time that I go to the store, it's not that it's punishment, it's responsibility. Cindy, before you buy this thing, which you probably don't really need, take a look at those funds, be responsible, and get something off of that grocery list. Yesterday, it was buying a tin of coffee, $22. But I want to make sure this is not something I skimp on. This is not something that I go yellow tag or no name brand on it. I'm not like a connoisseur of coffee, but I would like to think so, right? I know what kind of coffee that I like, that I would appreciate when I was on this trip. But so I picked up the brand that I would be happy to have on the trip. Might have been a different brand if it wasn't what I was drinking in this moment. Most probably still be finishing that tin by the time I leave. So I had to go with a different brand. We're going with Tim Hortons. I usually go with the McDonald's when I buy the coffee. I am pleasantly exhausted tonight. And this set of days off that I didn't realize that I needed so desperately until I was in those days off. And I got a good mixed bag of accomplishments relaxation, contemplation, Mother Nature, being responsible, being a student, right? Even being a spectator in those inklings and those ideas that come across my path that says that would be fun. And then getting into the little bit of Googling and the research and stuff. I was looking at housing today in Northern Ontario. I was looking at a little bit and how much and the um, different ways I could go about getting my deck of cards manufactured. I'm not even looking at distribution right now. Let's look at the manufacturing and let's see how I can get that cost down and what would be the most creative way for me to do that, because I do have ideas in the artwork for my packaging, right? I also have ideas for the packaging and in the boxing of my cards too. So in taking that all into consideration, there is research. But like I said, right, we are finished this last phase of going through those 54 powerful words. We got 54 powerful words. A couple of those words we did a couple of times, but they were good words. They were important words. They were impactful words that possibly, you know, deserved to be focused a little bit more on. Wasn't too many of those cards that I dug into a second time before I realized that we were probably not going to get completed before my holidays if we didn't call a stop, because right towards the end I could have easily just kept picking words that I've already picked, and yeah, that could have easily made the endless the endless game, right? And maybe might have stalled me out in what I was accomplishing. And it wasn't that I was purposely stalling myself out on. It's just that I didn't have that creative insight in the moment to say, okay, Sydney, that's enough, right? Did you take into consider this? And sometimes, it was in the nick of time that I still had this week free and next week too, so that we can talk a little bit about different things, a little bit about some of those things that are going on in my brain that I think that, it could be helpful to others, right? In their own indecisiveness, in their own putting together of the puzzle, right? Having a clearer picture of where we want to go this year, right? Next year, we will have had those tools, right? We might not find it as interesting. In fact, we might find whatever we're excited about doing and getting into this year, maybe even a little bit boring. Just like some of those things that I was doing last year probably wouldn't want to interest me in carrying them on for another year, right? 54 powerful words. Would I like to do that set of 54 powerful words again next year? Well, I suspect that we probably are going to, right? I think a lot of the content that I will be bringing to the table next year will be in these 54 words. Building little walls, right? I'm building boundaries, not for others, but boundaries for myself to help me stay on track, because I have decided to go further and deeper into some of these very, very important topics that trip us up as humans and as souls, right? I believe that, just as much as this is a Cindy story that I'm playing out, and maybe a little bit of frivolousness in that application of what I can contribute in the moment. But then again, maybe not. Maybe that's just the guilt and shame that's brought up because I understand that those other parts of me are also having an experience of their own, and right, because they're a little bit more directional in what they, that was good, Cindy, that was really good. They're a little bit more directional in what they want to do, that it is in that partnership that I have decided that, this is comfortable for me. I'm not doing anything else. This is for my own benefit, for my own expansion, if not for this year, maybe next year, maybe the next decade, maybe the next lifetime. And I am happy to do that. And I would like to think that I am perfect for that because I am somebody who loves to whistle while they work, right? That accomplishment, right? That accomplishing, it makes me happy. And what do when we're happy? We sing, we dance, we whistle while we work, right? We smile. We rub off well on others. So, how can I feel bad? Because in just saying that, I'm looking back at my life and I am super, 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 super grateful for all the smiles, for all the adventures, for all the experiences, conversations, and dynamic relationships that I've had in my life because they all add to my life, right? And this is a life that I'm not just experiencing by myself, but those other parts of me too are having their own experience in this life. Kind of like roommates, right? Kind of like roommates. And it's in that caring, right? That caring for myself that I made that decision just to keep moving forward. But the thing is, in moving forward, I can see already that a lot of the topics that I'll be delving into are not whistle while you work kind of content. They're not for me. It is enjoyable because again, in that accomplishing, seeing that it works, having revelations and understandings and clarity, not just for me, but in that experience that I'm having with others, right? But at the same time, I have to recognize that people just are not going to get a lot out of this content that I'm delving into unless they're in those experiences themselves. And if they're in those experiences themselves, it's not something that we should be tackling, I think, in a public forum. Sometimes it's in those private talks, in those sensitive conversations. Sometimes it's just in that steadfastness, just to stand steadfast while somebody else is having a moment, an experience, or an understanding that, right, could be very difficult to absorb in the moment, right? So, these 54 words, this deck of cards. It's the reward that just keeps rewarding, I tell you. Because when I first started this project of 54 powerful words, I was looking for content for my brand. I thought this would be good, be a little bit helpful for me to better understand some of these powerful words, but at the same time, it's going to offer me content that I can practice my craft and share those lessons. This is what I'm thinking. But these words started popping up, right? We randomly picked a new word every single week. And it didn't take long for me to feel and experience the serendipities of how these words were being coughed up, how they were being surfaced, right? In the experience. And it was an experience. It was an experience because I was showing up here every single day, right? In sharing those lessons. And it wasn't just in this year. This year, the show was on YouTube, but this was also a show that I had on Instagram, right? For a few years. Oh my goodness. I wish I was better at keeping track of dates and stuff. It's just one day melds into the next, 1 year delves into the next. And I've been on these platforms now for 10 years. It's pretty incredible. Hello, Nancy dear. Hello. How's your day going? How's your day going? What's new and exciting, and what's your good cheer? You should see it when Melvin comes into my live show. It's so sweet. He always comes in with my good cheer today is, and he tells me a good cheer. I think it's absolutely an amazing thing. Maybe I should make it a prerequisite when you come into my lives that you give me a little bit of good cheer, right? Because even though I've set up those boundaries for myself, right? We'll be working with those 54 powerful words, and those 54 powerful words will be kind of like the bound, right? I'll be staying in those realms to the best of my ability, understanding that things come across my path, and there will be moments that it will be suitable in the expression of it, but at the same time, understanding that, I'm moving towards something that will do me so much good. And at the same time, these are topics where other people will be able to expand for themselves too. It's really quite neat how we give me 1 second here. Right? I got distracted. These topics are only going to get deeper and heavier, and I don't want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not relevant to the people who aren't in those circumstances in the moment, or in those circumstances I've been studying, or those circumstances that I've been experiencing, right? That I want it to be positive. I want it to be fun, right? I want it to be the evidence that it can be done. Oh, that sounded like a poem, didn't it? It did. It sounded like a poem, but it is true. Okay, I got a new baby doll after I said no more for a while. She came in the mail today, so it's been a good day, and my layout it's up and running already. Nancy, oh my goodness, I'm sure your creativity is just starting in the presentation of your layout, but I can imagine the mechanics and the architectural part of it is taken care of already, right? Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. I think that's pretty amazing, Nancy. I'm happy for you. I'm super happy for you. And yeah, I expect that your Christmas layout is going to be the best that it's ever been. Look at all that gear behind me, Nancy. Oh my goodness, right? I think I kind of estimated in my head. I looked at the specs. I'm pretty thorough in these things. I went in, I checked out the specs on the Wagoneer to make sure that everything would work for me. Look out the layout in the back, how to put the seats down. That's something that I didn't do. So I'm gonna have to go back in to the specs to see how you put the seats down in the Wagoneer. Less than 2 weeks, you guys. I am gone. What are you guys gonna do without me? Should I put Nancy? Should I put a premiere together? Maybe I should put a premiere together. So at the very least, that you guys can come in and hang out with each other, and maybe it'll be a kind of a prelude, right, to the holiday that we're going on, the experience that we are going to have. There's an idea I'm having just in the moment. I think that's a great idea. I won't be here, and I'll probably be on the road, so I won't even be able to participate in it. But if there's a chance that I could, right, stop off somewhere where there's some Wi-Fi or something and hang out with you guys, it's possible. But I think it's a great idea. I think that's a great way for us to start off the series, right? When I am gone, maybe I have to put two up, right? Because you guys won't see me for 2 weeks. I'm coming home that Sunday from my trip, but I'm only going to probably pop in with you guys for half an hour or so. I'm going to be totally exhausted from just getting into town that very day. So I'm going to have to say that, yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. We'll do a couple of premieres to set us up for what's coming. Because right, no matter what's coming, we're on the road for 14 days. What things work out will be in the videos, and what's not working out, well, that'll be in the videos too. I hope I show my planning and the work that I put in to give myself an amazing holiday, right? I call it holiday because that's what it is. It's not a vacation. It's right. It is time off work technically, but a holiday is a creation of spectacularness, and dazzle and amaze. And that's exactly what I want to give myself this week. I'm just popping in. I'm just popping in as the week goes by. Next week too. Right? Maybe we'll try our hands out some of these words. I've thought of maybe getting some heavy duty glossy paper and just start cutting out those cards to temporarily so that we can get into the cards right away. They're not tarot cards, they're just powerful words, but that's what they are, powerful words. And I will stay to the best of my ability in those those boundaries that I set, not just for myself, right? Not just for others. It's just also for that partnership that I have with myself, so that I can have a clear definition of what's mine, right? What I should be sharing while I'm online that will make it so that it is positive. It is a happy. It is a good time where we can all just kind of get together and smile and enjoy each other's company. Maybe learn something along the way. You guys know I can't help myself. Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer. Time to finish my cup of coffee. Take in one more less. I tell ya, I I watched one more Neanderthal documentary. Right? Oh my goodness, it's really enjoyable though. It's super, super, super enjoyable, and it really does help me in my understanding of some of these issues that could trip us up somewheres down the road. But then again, that's a conversation for another day. You guys have a good night. I'll see you.